This is it. The end is nigh for stage 2 at the UK Open in Minehead this year. We've had 23 games, lots of excitement, and hopefully Rob Cross and Jefrey Zwaan will continue that theme as one of them looks to book their place in the quarterfinals in what's shaping up to be one of the most open UK Opens in recent memory. Adam Gavlas, Richie Bennett, Andrew Gilding, Martin Schindler, they're all there. And how many of you would have expected that? Rob Cross will be expecting to be in the quarterfinals of this competition, but Jefrey Zwaan will be hoping to be a bit of an annoyance to Cross this evening. These two had a titanic battle at Alexandra Palace back in 2019, I think it was. Thank you for the nod, Nico. When Rob Cross was defending his World Championship. On the opening night as well, Zwaan averaged around about 106 in defeat. So Cross knows that this man can play, and he's a man who's had to take a step back, go to Q School, come through Q School, and he looks ready for the TV stage once again. The girl in Price conqueror faces Rob Cross. This could be another interesting match, and maybe one that doesn't go along with the stats, because I think Zwaan has a great chance of getting one on Cross.
The script has been absolutely singed tonight. We're supposed to be darts experts. I'm getting everything 100. Wrong. We may in fact be in the upside down from Stranger Things, because I can't predict a thing. But the good thing about this game is it's had a somewhat relaxed start, hasn't it? A little bit of a Caribbean feel to the walk-ons. Let's get comfortable for what could be 19 last legs here on stage 2. What's been a fabulous debut for Studio 36 in 2023. But the record in the UK Open of the Black Cobra makes for reading of which I just can't even fathom.
58.
He's only ever won 4 games in this tournament. One's against Michael van Gerwen, the other one's against Gezi Price. Is he going to add Rob Cross to his hit list?
82.
And I spoke to him a little bit earlier. I referenced it in our second game of the night. I said, well done, Jeffrey. And he said, yeah, thanks. I didn't play very well the first 5 legs, but he was unbelievable after that.
137.
Darts players do like to be perfectionists.
If Jeffrey was more chilled out, honestly,
135.
you'd stick him in a drink and let it cool your drink down.
He was
one of the coolest people in darts.
If he was more chilled out, we'd be nicknaming him the Freeze or the Iceman. Cross going
93.
for 2 doubles.
Jeffrey, you require 87.
Double 5.
77. Rob, you require 36.
Needed 2 in the previous visit. Now he just needs the 1. Could it be the time that Rob Cross finally lifts the UK Open where his journey began? Could he come full circle from the Norwich
100.
Rileys, where he made the last 16? Well, it was the last 32, actually, wasn't it, against Michael van Gerwen in 2016. And since then, he's become a multiple
96.
European champion, a world champion, a world match play champion, and added to what is already a Hall of Fame career.
60.
He's still in the infancy of that career, but you do get the feeling that the final losses here at Minehead just loom large in his memory, and one of them was very recently.
And it was
100.
another fantastic final as well in the Players' Championship finals. Lost to Michael van Gerwen on the receiving end of a 9-darter in the green machine.
60.
He also lost to Nathan Aspinall in 2019, and that will have made him cross for the fact that he didn't play well in the final. The Asp won with an average of 88.
97.
And it wasn't very close. It was 11-5 in the end.
Yeah, I think you had 2 very tired players in that final. And ultimately, Aspinall won that final with the 2nd lowest average in the tournament's history.
96.
in a final, of course. But when it comes to the last 16 for Rob, he's got a pretty good hit rate at this
100.
juncture. He's only ever lost in the last 16 here once in 2017 to Peter Wright. All of the other times, he's prevailed. And he's never gone to a last leg decider either. He's taken out the likes of Ratajski, Crystal Reyes and Stephen Bunting before. And he wants to add Zwaan to that list.
And he might do here the trademark pause.
76.
Doesn't work for him this time.
Jeffrey require
There's a good idea. On my
130.
remote at home, on the pause button, I'll put a little picture of Rob Cross. Fast forward button goes to Jeffrey Zwaan.
Game shown the
So that's
second
done
leg.
quickly.
Jeffrey
1-1.
Third leg is
Game
run to
on,
break
everybody.
first. Game
Don't
on.
go anywhere. This one could provide even more drama. I'm not really sure how much more we can take, actually.
60.
Rob Cross is not a slow player by any means, but in comparison to Jeffrey, it's like the speed has been electronically set to go slower.
97.
A lot of players could be seen as glacial compared to Jeffrey Zwaan. You had a little bit of an altercation with a Swan earlier, didn't you? I think I'm going to call him Jeffrey.
140.
You don't like swans, do you, Dan?
Well, when it's using its beak to literally try and unlock the door to our chalet,
140.
I don't like people who break and enter.
Yeah, I don't like that kind
I
of
don't like
behaviour.
swans that do it. I
It's,
don't care
it's a
what
little bit
species.
aggressive.
Honestly, I thought it was an ostrich at first.
93.
It was big.
You thought that a swan was an ostrich. All right, we'll come back to that in private.
65.
I would have been terrified if there was a black cobra at the back door.
Yeah, I'd have been happy with a swan then.
Wonderful.
180.
He has had a scare or two already in this tournament, Rob Cross. And he has prevailed,
190.
especially against Raymond
Rob,
van
you
Barneveld
require
yesterday on this
28.
board, where he found two finishes that were quite simply outrageous. One was a 148 on double top, and the other one was a finish involving treble 18, double 14. But
21.
that was ragged.
Jeffrey, you require 80.
I'm pretty certain that after he threw that first dart at double 7, Rob Cross muttered to himself, "Oh, Bobby." Has that chant kind of
Game
seeped
shown
into
the
his
third
mind?
leg. Jeffrey does one.
Jeffrey Zwaan. 80
Full break
seeping
is
into his
Jeffrey
mind, and
Zwaan
he's 2-1
first.
up now.
Yeah,
Game
one
on.
treble 13 double top. That's what we call getting the paddles, because you think the finish is dead, but then you get the paddles out and treble 13 tops, and all of a
137.
sudden, things are a little bit more alive, and Zwaan takes the lead. Now, he averaged 105 against Gezi Price earlier
99.
today, and it was early. That game started at 12:45. He's had a long time to process that victory, and he looks like he usually does, actually. He's quite relaxed.
140.
Yeah, I mean, every player that's here has had to play in the afternoon session, but for Jeffrey Zwaan to be first on
98.
and last up, that's adding a potential gap of about 2 hours, maybe even longer, to his schedule.
And we're talking about
60.
two players here who have not won a European Tour event. Rob Cross's 2 European Championships don't count, by the way. So the complexity of playing multiple games in a day, there are question marks, but you'd have to say that Rob Cross has got a bigger likelihood of winning this game. However, if the ball goes, maybe things are turning already for Zwaan. Wow, what a shot that was.
Game on.
Oh, there's a swagger in Jeffrey Zwaan now.
95.
He throws darts almost like he doesn't aim. He's just got such a natural knack for it. The way that he generates so much power in the dart as well.
96.
Well, we've seen some fantastic finishes in this stage 2 over the past few days. That's right up there with one of them. I think I'd probably still go for the Danny Knop at 134 as maybe the best. It didn't mean anything, but it was good.
We don't know actually how good that 164 is yet, and you might think I'm crazy saying that. But if Zwaan maintains this two-leg cushion for a period of maybe 15 minutes, that 164 could be even more important in 15 minutes.
We should not be surprised at this because, yes, it was 5 years ago now, but Jefrey Zwaan made the semi-finals of the match play, beating Michael van Gerwen when he was at his almost unbeatable best, Adrian Lewis, Dave Chisnell, and he lost out to Gary Anderson, who eventually went on to lift that title against Mensah Suljovic. He's proven in his short career so far, he can live with the best of them. It just hasn't clicked in the last few years, but it's clicking now.
Rob, you require 154.
Coincidentally, that's, for me, the 2018 match play, the best ever. Oh, Rob's looking for a touche moment.
130.
This would hurt.
Jefrey, you require 84.
Well, 84 is a checkout that may need the bull. He's very proficient. He was.
What I love about that is that
Rob,
Jefrey is aggressive,
24.
but he went for the big single. Now, in these moments, the big singles can be your friend. Doesn't like that at all. Oh, he gets an assist. And he does get within one. You see, sometimes the darts on the outside can be friendly.
Another flick on.
140.
Just going back to what you were saying about Zwaan throwing them hard, I think in both of these players we have two of the hardest throwers of the tungsten in world darts. Anywhere on the planet.
100.
Used to be this guy on the German circuit called Eric Tautfest. He used to throw them like he was throwing javelins. Really hard. Simon Whitlock throws them very, very hard. But if you look at the force of Jefrey Zwaan,
100.
if there was no board there, those things would travel about 30 feet.
Well, one of the reasons why Zwaan did tumble down the rankings was because of injury, because he had problems with his shoulder.
140.
But the issue is, he plays instinctively, and he won't want to change the way that he throws. He probably won't be able to. Won't be able to stop himself throwing like that.
Do you know he's a very good gamer? Very avid gamer.
I've heard that he's a fan of Twitch and streaming.
100.
He's under the age of 30.
Jefrey,
of course he's into
161.
Twitch and streaming and gaming and things like that.
Well, I'm 28. Am I an exception to that rule?
So I take it you're not into that.
125.
Well, gaming for me,
Rob, you
the peak
require
was sort of
161.
PS1, PS2.
28 going on 48 then.
None of this buy a game, wait 6 hours for it to download rubbish.
91.
Plug it in and play.
36.
How about a downloaded double 18?
Game shown the
Well, that was positively
Jefrey
fibre-like in its download. That was quick.
To throw first. Game on.
Looks bothered, doesn't he? You can't crack this guy. He's like an egg made of granite.
58.
You're never going to get to the yolk.
What a nickname that is for some potential darts player out there.
What, the granite egg?
140.
It'd have to be somebody from Aberdeen, because that's the granite city. Rob Cross is playing pretty well in this game.
140.
He's averaging 96, but Zwaan's at it again, averaging 102. And he will
60.
believe that he's got another level to find. On the main stage, Dimitri Vandenberg is 6-4 up. Gary Anderson really does, if he looks at the draw,
133.
does fancy this tournament. It's opening up. There are going to be plenty of people in the quarterfinals who will be
45.
very nervous tomorrow, and someone with experience might be able to pounce. Could it be Bobby Cross?
60.
Well, he's far enough in front that that visit of 60 probably won't irk him too much, especially because
58.
Zwaan cannot get to
Rob,
a
you
finish.
require 110.
These are the finishes that Cross was taking for fun en route to winning the World Championship.
The 60 isn't in the middle. The single isn't in the middle. But he still takes the
And
shot.
the seventh player,
In the middle.
Cross.
Funny how things work out.
First, game on.
Off the post, back of the net. That's how that shot is categorized. Doesn't care.
140.
But now, his sole focus is to try and draw level. And if Zwaan is going to continue at this kind of level, you sense that maybe the break has got to come with a 4-visit leg.
This is the 11th meeting between Jefrey Zwaan and Rob Cross.
100.
Currently, it's not going according to history because Zwaan has won only 2 of those, both of them on the Euro Tour. They have met on the big stage twice, once in that aforementioned World Championship
100.
epic, and then in 2019 when Zwaan was one of the contenders slash challengers, whatever you want to call them. He went down 7-4, but
85.
did himself proud, averaging just shy of 97. And that's when we thought he was going to become part 2 of the Netherlands World Cup team for many years to come alongside
94.
Michael van Gerwen. It could still happen.
Yeah, Zwaan has had some good runs in some good tournaments. Unlike Martin Schindler,
95.
he has been to quarterfinals and indeed a semi-final before. That match play that you mentioned in 2018. He's been to the quarterfinals of the World Grand Prix in 2020. He's also been to the quarterfinals of the European Championship in 2019.
Jefrey, you require 81.
Double 12 with a marker.
57.
And you can see the flight shimmer. He was trying to bounce it in, but missed the marker.
Rob, you require 88.
Cross to the 18s. Now double 7. He had a few wild efforts at this earlier in the match. Nothing wild about that though. For the first time, Rob Cross bellows in celebration.
He's trying to do a double here on stage 2 this weekend, because yesterday he took out the master in Raymond van Barneveld. Now he's trying to take out Barneveld's student.
97.
And guess what the scoreline was? 10-9.
Two more legs in the first half of this contest. And we knew all about things being tied at the break.
140.
I look at who's through to the quarterfinals, and if you're not watching UK Open darts tomorrow, you're not a darts
60.
fan. We could have one of the most unpredictable days in PDC history tomorrow.
I'm just a bit sad that I'm going to have to sacrifice
39.
the afternoon session to drive 5 hours back home.
Just cancel your plans, Dan. Quarterfinalists: Gilding,
100.
Aspinall, Gavlas, Burnett, Schindler. Not one darts fan
58.
on earth could have predicted those names all together in the quarterfinals. You may think you could have, but you couldn't.
59.
You may have predicted one of those names.
167.
I think I might have gone for Schindler at a push. And Aspinall. I'm not going to predict the 167 because it's impossible now.
95.
Just a reminder as well that Zwaan, he might be losing his grip on the lead here.
97.
But he was
Rob, you
4-1 down to
require
Gezi
72.
Price. He will not be too perturbed by the fact that he may be about to go behind in this one. Double 16.
40.
But then again, he might not.
Jefrey require 101.
Oh, that was aggressive.
61.
Paul Nicholson, he's shaking his head.
Rob, you require
And I'm in
32.
agreement. He should have gone treble 14.
Yeah, I
Bigger
don't care whether
target.
you like tops or not. I think the treble 14's a bigger target. You don't expect Rob Cross to miss this, and he doesn't.
Game shown the ninth leg. Rob Cross.
If you look at where
Seventh
those
leg is
darts
Jefrey
went,
to throw first.
he's going for the central part of that double 16, of course. But he's missed the centre part of that
100.
double 16 by about an inch. And then he's hit the double 8 in the bottom 15% of it. That says to me that some of the darts are coming out of his hand a little late.
A little snatchy, maybe. I mean, by the
60.
tiniest amount, because he's still got it in the double.
Yeah, of course, and maybe that's one of the reasons why he likes double 16 and double 8, because if he does get a dart coming out a little bit too late,
57.
he can still catch it. I don't think you can say that Rob Cross's throw is smooth. It's very instinctive.
60.
Jeffries is smooth to start with, and then it's
137.
a catapult to the board.
Absolutely. If you look at the way his hand flops down through that forceful follow through, it's not as violent as Christopher
93.
Holt from yesterday, but it's pretty similar.
It's not as biologically defying
99.
with the wrist movements.
I've said for a good couple of years now that 99% of the dart players on the planet do not warm up their wrists enough before they start practicing or playing. It's something that you
96.
must do. You've got to
Jefrey
get fluid
require
around
108.
that area of your hand just to stop yourself from getting any pain. That'll
56.
do.
It's partly why a lot of darts players get injuries these days, because they've got packed schedules and they're almost doing nothing but throwing darts.
Yeah, repetitive strain injuries are fairly common.
64. Jefrey required 52.
For a tied game at the half, it's tops.
32.
Wow. That first
Rob,
start
you
was
require
well over the bar.
128.
And we know how much Rob Cross loves treble 18, because that's exactly where he's going now. First port of call, and it might be the same for the second port of call. Now he's got to move to his left for 16 bull.
Back at treble 18.
56. Jefrey required 20.
Go into the break all square.
Game
Straight
shot
in the
10th
middle.
leg, Jefrey does one.
And this is the last game of stage 2 at Minehead this weekend. It could be another classic, because Jeffrey Zwaan is making Rob Cross work very, very hard right now. He doesn't feel under pressure at all, because he's already taken out Gerwin Price. 5 apiece. Let's find out what happens after the break, shall we?
Welcome back, folks. This is the last session of Stage 2 for UK Open 2023. And as Jack and Jill said once, well, 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 what have we got in our hands here? A tied game at 5-all. And best of 9 legs to see who joins the party in the quarterfinals for Sunday. Over to you guys. It's now up to you to join said party. As far as this game is concerned, we have 2 averages almost identical, 92 and change. We've only seen 2 maximums. They've both come from Rob Cross, which is quite surprising. Not noted as a big 180 hitter, but Jeffrey is. We haven't had any from him, but he has had that 164 checkout on the ball, which was rather delicious.
And it was taken so casually as well. Cross firing from the break. He yanked those darts out of the board so hard, I'm surprised he didn't rip the points off.
I'm surprised he didn't rip the dartboard off the wall. Steady on, Rob. Are we going to see a combustible Rob Cross over the next 9 legs, maybe? You got to be careful when you do that as well. because Darren Webster at one point did rip the darts out the board and he dropped one, and it was classed as a bad retrieval.
Is that one of the lesser-known rules in the PDC handbook?
If you're taking the darts out the board, and you almost slap it out of the board, you don't actually take it out of the board, it doesn't count. And the likes of Charlie Costafine, George Noble, Russ Bray and Owen Binks, referees from stage 2 this weekend, they all know the crack.
Well, Cross knows the crack on 109.
Does he?
No, he doesn't. Stupid thing to say.
77.
If you're going to miss a single, do it when your opponent's not on a finish. Rule number 1 is don't miss the single, but there is a subsection to that. If your opponent's not on a finish, hit the double when you've got it.
I like that from Zwaan. Is that the textbook dead cat shot, as we call it?
Yes, it was, but it didn't work.
Top leg gets Jefrey to throw first. Game on.
I don't even know where that metaphor comes from, really.
Dan Dawson first coined it on the European tour. It's something about... In fact, I'm not even going to speculate.
99.
I'll look into it for you. I'll have to ask Dawson the next time I see him. But it's become a bit of a ubiquitous phrase in darting terminology when someone hits a 180 when they really shouldn't be doing it. Main stage, Vandenberg 9, Anderson 8.
There's still the small matter of MVG v Coolhand Luke to come up on stage 1. So these players and the ones that have got through will have to wait a little bit longer to find out who they'll be playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Well, this is the cherry on the dessert of stage 2. MVG Humphreys is the gold leaf on the dessert of the main stage.
59.
Sensible from Zwaan to leave a finish he's already hit. I like that style. But you can tell from his expression that he wanted something a little less than that.
140.
Rob Cross has got 100 less.
164.
He needs deja vu. He doesn't get it.
92. Robbie requires 64.
This is in Rob's wheelhouse because it involves a lot of 16 action. Oh, has to move. Traverses the darting circle to the top right.
28.
He's trying to do a strike here. Looky there, wasn't he? Top, middle, or bottom?
He usually loves double 18. Jeffrey Zwaan to get an unlikely leg on the board. There it is.
Jeffrey Zwaan.
He doesn't give himself time to think, and that's a really good quality, I think. It's like he's programmed to know where to throw it.
Don't think, just do. Sounds like something that Pete Mitchell would say in Top Gun. Well, there you go. There's a strike from a man who I'm reliably informed from social media is very good at Call of Duty. Has he got Cross in his sights?
83.
He has. Cross might be eliminated at some point, but this is not Call of Duty. This is not e-gaming.
60.
This is sporting.
This is real life.
I like that from Cross, trimming the 8 off the end at the very least. Now he's a 140 away from a double.
100.
And there you see the disappointment from the Black Cobra, because he was thinking leave 1-2-1. That's a bit more manageable than 1-6-1. Small margins in this game are telling a very, very vivid story.
54. Jeffrey required 161.
I think we are going to see reactions from these players as we go into the final couple of chapters. There'll be an explosion if Cross gets 419s and Bull.
He's got the 419s. And we have the explosion. Rob Cross right in the middle of the ball. Fabulous 1-2-6 finish. And that'll hurt Jefrey, because he'll have fancied a crack.
60.
That was just a whole throw as well. And just to throw a little bit of extra soupçon into the UK Open pot, Gary Anderson's out. Vandenberg is in the quarterfinals. This is an obliteration of the mainstays of PDC darts this weekend. I know that Dimitri is a Premier League player, but for Anderson to go out, stories everywhere, column inches are being plugged.
I wonder if we could potentially have a record for different nationalities, just looking at the pattern of the draw. We've got a Welshman, a German, a Belgian, a Czech, and 2 Englishmen. Maybe not. Dutchman and an Englishman and a Dutchman and an Englishman.
98.
It's still very cosmopolitan.
161.
And that's a good thing for the sport.
Isn't it just? And back up top now for JDZ.
97.
He had choices. He could have looked at the 16s, but elected not to.
19's first on 167 for Rob. This is so
Jefrey
tight.
requires 64.
Both on 2 darters, and he can't really miss this.
60.
But he does.
Rob, you require 80.
Rob Cross historically doesn't like double top, but he has improved on it over the last couple of years. He doesn't need it.
Pivotal moment, and Rob Cross nails it.
Rob Cross.
He's 2 legs in front, with 2 legs to go, perhaps.
Game on.
I can't tell you how good a shot that is. As someone who's played top-level PDC darts, when you hit shots like that, at moments like that, you feel like nothing's going to stand in your way.
129.
It's very difficult to convert treble to double combination like that against an opponent who is playing his ultra-aggressive brand of this sport.
100.
And especially in 2 darts as well. Didn't have to mess around with a 3rd dart, probably at tops.
It's a lovely feeling, Dan, when you've got a dart in your left hand that you don't need. You think, I'm so good, I only need 2 darts, never mind 3. Confidence gradually building for Rob.
59.
Confidence is key.
Cross averaging just short of 96. His doubles have improved. 44% now, 8 hits from 18. That's pretty good. He's got Zwaan on the ropes. And like you mentioned earlier, Dan, he knows how to beat Jefrey in a tight contest.
This could be a knockout blow. It won't be. Well, he's confident on double 10, clearly.
It's a somewhat strange shot, actually.
Robbie required 20.
He likes double 16. He didn't go for treble 14 on 74.
May he come to regret it.
10. Jefrey required 161.
You can see what Jeffrey's got to do. He's not up to it.
49.
That last start maybe
Rob,
indicates that he's
required 10.
panicking slightly. He was going for the outer ball to leave a two-darter.
Madhouse for cross. Zwaan's task is a little bit easier than last time. But he does not get a look at it. 15 legs deep, and Cross has made the move since the break.
Jefrey to throw first. Game on.
Since then, he has won 4 legs to 1. That's what world champions do.
180.
And all opponents of world champions can do is just plough as many into the treble 20 bet as possible.
140.
Give us a 9, Jeffrey.
140.
Asking too much, Dan. I applaud you though, because time's running out for a 9-darter on stage 2 this year.
140.
I did say that Johnny Clayton was going to win the title and get a 9-darter, and I was wrong on both counts. My tipping
105.
experience this weekend has been absolutely horrific.
Welcome to the UK Open.
I don't mind. I like unpredictability.
57. Jefrey requires 76.
Well, to prolong the contest.
Game shot on the 16th
Well
leg.
played, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey does one.
Still needs 3 more
Is Rob
legs.
to throw first.
Still
Game
needs
on.
to get a couple of breaks. But it's something to build upon.
Oh, a little bit of magician work there from Rob Cross, tossing his second dart back into his holding hand and then taking it back. Don't try that at home. These are professionals.
100.
You can, in positions like this, sometimes just take your foot off the gas and think to yourself, it's all right, I'm going to get 1 leg. But when you're up against somebody as fierce and swift as Zwaan, you can be rolled quickly. You have to maintain focus and stay in your rhythm. Rob's doing a really good job of that.
140.
Yeah, he's one of several top-level PDC players, Rob Cross, who doesn't ever seem to get bothered by anything on stage or anything that his opponent
140.
chucks at him. 98 after 9, it's a fabulous leg.
It could well be
92.
a last 16
Rob, you
winning
require
leg, and
98.
Zwaan has left a bogey number. After the slip on dart 2, he's given Rob Cross the chance to get it done right here.
Treble 18, which he usually loves. He can just tee up tops.
58.
That was too close for comfort.
That's proper tightrope walking.
40.
Well, he doesn't
Rob,
like
you
tops
require
usually,
40.
but he'll like it if he can get it this time, because it'll send him into the last 8 of the UK Open. And Rob Cross is going to the last 8 of the UK Open. Jeffrey Zwaan did his best to put him under pressure, but ultimately Cross had a bit too much class. Zwaan, though, can take huge positives from this weekend. And unfortunately, that brings an end to stage 2 for this weekend at Minehead. It's been an absolute privilege to cover the UK Open. It's main stage from here on in. Coming up in the next few weeks, we've got more Players' Championship events and the Euro Tour in Leverkusen at the end of March. But for now, Rob Cross finds himself in the quarter-finals of the UK Open. Thank you very much for joining us this weekend.